John likes tech and lives in Indiana, you know. Kevin likes the Dodgers and talks on the radio. John plays games on Xbox and on his Nintendo, while Kevin runs around LA with his mustachio. It's the Lack of Genius podcast, in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up, John? Bouncing around to the theme song today?
A little.
That probably means there's good energy in the air is what we're feeling, is what we're saying.
Hopefully.
Memorial Day is on the horizon, yes?
It is.
And it's funny because I received like some helpful tips of how to approach Memorial Day as a broadcaster from one of my jobs. And like one of the notes he said is literally don't say Happy Memorial Day. Like that's somehow disrespectful to the purpose of the holiday, whereas I'm a little bit like, I think that's a little bit too far on the extreme of, I don't think anybody's disrespecting the true meaning, which we're going to learn about, of Memorial Day, just because they wish somebody a happy Memorial Day.
Right.
But all that said, because Memorial Day is coming up, we're doing our normal holiday thing. So John, you're doing Memorial Day history, and I'm doing what I guess is called Memorial Day fun. And, you know, maybe that email scared me because I feel like I need to, like, preface things with Memorial Day, much like every other holiday, yes, has a very solid reason for why we do it. And I don't want to spoil John's quiz, but I do know it has to do with honoring people who fought in our armed forces, served in our armed forces, and lost their lives. And that's a very important thing to celebrate. But at the same time, we as Americans it becomes part of culture, and we add different ways to celebrate, including many of the things that we'll get into in my quote unquote fun quiz. And I think that's okay. You know, I don't think it means the holiday is losing its meaning. I think it means that, I don't know. I'm not super patriotic, but it really is a good reminder that we have freedom and that this is what we're honoring them for, that we can go and we can have barbecues on Memorial Day and drink beer and grill up chicken, you know? So I don't know. I'm trying to walk the line carefully on this because I do respect our troops and I do value the lives of those who've served and lost their lives. But I think we're also allowed to have fun, and both of those things can be true at the same time. Just because you have fun doesn't mean you're not honoring the true meaning of the holiday. Are you on board with me, John? I don't want to speak for you.
No, I think so. I mean, and that argument has been around for a very long time, and we'll talk about it a little bit later too.
Okay.
So.
It's even see. I was just trying to hype up your history quiz, is what I was doing, John.
Tidy up before we go any further with the show. Tidy up before we go. Fix our mistakes tonight. I wanna get it right. Tidy up.
So, if you're new to our podcast, Tidy Up is where we usually take, it might be errors from the previous show, it might be things that we misspoke about that we tidy up. We also just do general sort of house cleaning things. So, you want to talk about this little survey that we're planning to do, John?
Yeah, so, you know, we've somehow magically have come up to almost a year of doing this. Next month makes a year. And we're on episode, 49 now? And so, 3 more makes a year.
Yeah, because we've done this thing once a week for 49 weeks now. We're 52 is going to be a full, that's dedication, John. Bravo to you.
Yeah.
Bravo to you.
And to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I think if memory serves, the New Year's resolution I made for the podcast is that we do it every week of the year so far. And so far, we're doing good.
I don't know how, I'm knocking on wood. We have yet to miss a week. It's unbelievable. But I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, and so as a part of that, we would like to gather your thoughts. So we're going to be putting out a survey that you can access on Patreon. And, we just want your thoughts. Tell us what you're thinking. It can be anonymous if you want. If not, you can put your name. If you really hate what we're doing and you want us to know who it is that's yelling at us on how stupid it is, that's fine. We'll come back and be like, okay, how can we be better to make your life better?
If you want us to envision you sitting on a porch shaking your fist at us, just put that in there, and we will envision it. It'll be our honor. And we, this is something that we really do want our patrons' feedback from, because these are people who kindly, generously donate money to our podcast. So we definitely want your feedback. But if you're listening to this right now and you're not a patron, you're still free to take this survey. You just go to patreon.com/lackofgenius. It'll be a public post. So your input is valued, whether this is the first episode you've listened to, or this is the 9th episode, or this is the 49th episode. We really would value your input as someone who listens to us. So please don't hesitate and think that oh, I'm too casual a listener to give feedback. We would love it. We would love it if you participated.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that I'll mention from last episode, I got a text from, it was a very excited text from our logo designer, Jeff McAvoy. And it was after the mustache episode aired. And he wanted to let me know that he owns a copy of the Dolly book about mustaches. What was it called again? Dolly's Mustache, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Dolly's Mustache. And he couldn't find it. He's not sure if it survived the many purges he's done in moving, but he did own it. He was big into Dolly, and I will say I'm very proud of him for that. But I have yet to hear from someone who has an actual mustache spoon, and that'll really make my day if I meet someone who has a mustache spoon.
It's time to take a quiz or two. Like a Genius podcast doing this for you. You may fail, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time. Don't really want this quiz to be tough. I just wanna pass one cause I failed enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time.
I would say I'm very easily influenced by things, positively and negatively. I'm a people pleaser, so my biggest fear is that I've just put it in someone's head to never say Happy Memorial Day to somebody ever again. I hope I didn't just do that, because that email did it to me. Now every time I go gather somewhere, I'm gonna be like, are they gonna get offended if I say Happy Memorial Day to them? Let's erase that from our heads. I think it's okay to say that.
Oh yeah.
So it is Memorial Day is approaching, and John's got a quiz about the history of Memorial Day. I have one about fun, and again, just because mine is labeled the fun quiz doesn't mean that John's is not the fun quiz. It just happens to be that that's the best word we chose. So, John, you ready to jump into this?
Yep.
All right. Here's number one about Memorial Day fun. On Memorial Day, John, this is a great point. We know the point of Memorial Day is to honor lives lost, but in the fun section, how many hot dogs are eaten per second by Americans? Because we know grilling is one of the biggest things that people do on Memorial Day. How many hot dogs are eaten per second by Americans on Memorial Day? Is it 200, 400, 600, or 800?
So one clarifying question I have for you, Kevin, is this just straight up plain hot dogs, or can this include like brats and sausages and vegetarian dogs and chicken sausages and stuff like that?
My data did not include that specification.
Okay.
I would guess it probably includes anything that is wiener shaped and put in a bun. I would think that is what they included.
That should be a social post.
It probably will be. I think we talked about whether taco was a sandwich or not, which I think that was pretty obvious that it's not. But a hot dog, what side of the debate do you fall on?
I believe it is a sandwich.
You believe it is a sandwich?
Because, whether you considered a bun to be two pieces of bread, because sometimes buns break, right? Actually, the ones that Wrigley did.
That's right, they did. And I got mustard on my jersey, and that was fun.
Right. Even if you consider it to be one piece of bread, you have open-faced sandwiches.
Yeah, this is true.
And, what is a sandwich but, bread and some sort of protein and condiments and fixins to go with it. You've got a bun, you've got a protein, in this case, a hot dog. And then you got, relish, mustard, mayo.
Here's what I'll say just to close out that debate. Everything you said, you're right. Hot dog checks all the boxes for definition of sandwich. But despite that, I'm in the camp of no, it's not a sandwich, because I am more going by just the sort of cultural definition of a sandwich, which is bread and it's shaped like this, or maybe it's shaped long, but it's you know, and here's the thing is anything that I say, the logic of it, you could really apply to, well, a hot dog is weird shaped, and it's true. There to me, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm okay with that.
I think I have one argument though that will invalidate your thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Well, you know how if you ever have like one piece of bread left, but you still want a sandwich, so you put everything on it and then fold it in half.
Yeah, that's essentially a hot dog, right? See, now what I do is I cut my bread in half, so I make it a tiny half sandwich. That's what I do. So there's there. But anyways, John, how many per second? How many hot dogs are being eaten on Memorial Day? What are you going to go with? 2, 4, 6, or 800?
600.
600?
Yep.
Gonna stay away from the Macho 800 and choose 600?
Yep.
All right, John, that is incorrect. It was the Macho 800. I made it the biggest one. You know, I didn't double check this math, but yeah, it's estimated that over 800 hot dogs are eaten on hot dogs per second are eaten on Memorial Day. That means nearly 72 million hot dogs are eaten on this one day alone. And we'll get into more barbecue stuff, but yeah, it's a great day for eating dogs. So there you go, John. 0 for 1. Sorry, dude.
Approximately how many places claim to have started Memorial Day?
Oh, that's great.
5, 15, 25, or 35.
Wow. How many places claim to have started Memorial Day? That's such a random thing to claim. I guess you would be very proud of that. If I was just choosing this without guesses, I would have said somewhere around 5, but because the guess goes up to 35, I want to say that it's more than that. Do I want to choose the Big Mama one? You didn't.
Did I?
And it didn't work out for you. No, you chose 600 instead of 800. So, because I'm between 25 and 35, I'm going to go for the big one. I'm going to say 35. Oh, it's 25, isn't it?
Incorrect. It is 25.
Dang it. Okay, well, tell me about this. That's amazing.
And so that's according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
Okay.
They recognize that there's approximately 25 places that claim to have originated the holiday. And this stems back from the Civil War. So Memorial Day wasn't a thing until after the Civil War, when both places in the South and the North, they kind of settled on May 30th as kind of this day to remember the soldiers that died during the Civil War. From my understanding and reading, May 30th was kind of chosen because it was a day that there was no battle that really happened. And so there, you can't say, well, the North chose May 30th because of this battle, that they won, and the
Got
South,
it. It's neutral.
It was kind of a neutral day. Yeah.
That's cool. And what interesting realization I had, partly from putting this quiz together, is that so this past Friday, I believe it was, or this weekend, really, we observe Armed Forces Day, and I didn't put this in the quiz, but May 16th. So May 20th, I believe, was Armed Forces Day. May 16th, National Barbecue Day. And it's kind of like you put those two together, and on May 31st, you get Memorial Day. Now, that's different than just the armed forces, obviously. But it's very interesting that all these holidays that kind of revolve around the same thing just sort of cluster together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Memorial Day is also seen as the unofficial official beginning of summer.
Beginning of summer, yep. Which is
just like Labor Day is seen as the end of summer, Memorial Day is seen as the beginning of summer.
Yep. Well, dude, that's an excellent segue into our next question. So I'll just go right into it. This is a rare one where you're not filling in the blank. There's just one correct answer. You need to rank the following holidays in order of most popular for barbecuing to least popular for barbecuing. All right. So the most to least, and your holidays in chronological order are Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and Christmas.
I'm going to go 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Christmas.
How good you feeling about that choice?
Fairly decent.
Fairly decent. John, you got it. Well done. And I think that's probably, without any knowledge of this, what I would have chosen. But it turns out, 4th of July, the biggest by far. It's reported that 71% of people have a barbecue on 4th of July. Memorial Day and Labor Day are epically close in the amount of people on a regular basis. In fact, as of 10 years ago, Labor Day was most commonly the higher barbecue day, and then Memorial Day started taking off. I did see some sources that they said they were tied at 55%, but the one that I went off of said that 57% of people have a barbecue on Memorial Day, 55% have a barbecue on Labor Day. I did not look up the number of barbecues on Christmas because there probably are a lot, actually, especially like in warmer climate places.
Right.
The next most, so 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day are the top three. The next most, any guesses on what the next most would be, John? It's not part of the quiz, but just have a random stab to take at it.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. No, but that doesn't actually go against you. Father's Day is the next most, which makes sense because it's a warmer climate time. It almost makes me wonder if like graduation season, it doesn't have a day, but like, you know, the amount
all
of
the open houses.
Yeah, and all that stuff, it would probably be pretty high up. So yeah, those are your top four: 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Father's Day. And yeah, you got that right, John. 1 for 2. Good job.
Cool. So true or false? The day was originally called Decoration Day.
Ooh, Decoration Day. Interesting. Well, okay. So my understanding of Memorial Day is it's a way to honor those who have lost their lives in service to us. Mm-hmm. Decoration, that makes me think of like people, veterans specifically, who have been decored with honors and awards and Purple Hearts and various other things that may be given out. I want to choose true, and I'm maybe overthinking this, but like, gosh, there's part of me that's like Decoration Day is something different. You know what? I think I'm overthinking, and I'm just going to choose true. That Memorial Day originally was called Decoration Day. I'm choosing true.
Locking it in.
I'm locking it in. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, and your thinking was kind of my thinking as well at first, and I'm like, Decoration Day doesn't make sense. Like, I was thinking, people decorated with awards and honors and stuff. Uh-huh. But no, it's decoration of the grave sites.
Oh, yes.
So leaving flowers and stuff like that. So it was a day set aside to decorate the grave sites of fallen soldiers, and this is something that's been done for eons,
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a new practice. It was with the Civil War and everything, it kind of became a more common thing, and they set aside a specific day. And there was one organization called the Grand Army of the Republic. You could think of it as kind of a American Legion or, a Veterans Foreign War type thing. But it was specifically for veterans of the Civil War. So when the last veteran died, that organization no longer existed.
Wow. Do you have the date on that, just out of curiosity? Like, when did the last Civil
give me
War
a moment here. In 1956 is when the Grand Army of the Republic was dissolved, and that was when a guy by the name of Albert Wolson died. He was 106, so he was born in 1850. So he was pretty young when he fought in the Civil War.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he was the perfect combo of being very young when he fought and living to a very old age. 106. Right. That's amazing. Yeah, John, you and I probably have this in common, unless Boy Scouts are different from where you are to where I am. But every Memorial Day, that was something that our troop would do, is we would go out to the local cemetery and put American flags on anyone who had, they would have like a symbol on their grave that signified that they served in any one of the, why can't I think of the word? Any one of the armed forces. Did you ever do that in Boy Scouts, or was that just a thing our troop did?
That may have just been something your troop. I know other troops do it as well.
But
it wasn't something my troop did.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Decoration Day, even though there was, plenty of wars between the Civil War and the World Wars, it wasn't until after the World Wars that Decoration Day became for more than just the Civil War.
Oh, interesting.
So for a good 30, 40 years, or 50 years even, it was centered mainly around the Civil War.
Wow. And it kind of took a major war, I guess, if you want to call it that, World War to sort of be more than just for Civil War.
Yeah, a generalized day of remembrance.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, that is just so fascinating to me, because I bring up the putting flags on grave sites, and literally that's what we were doing in Boy Scouts, is decorating their graves in a classy way, if you will. But yeah, I was like, okay, that makes sense. It's still Decoration Day. But cool, man. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So we're both 1 for 2. You ready for number 3?
Yep.
You get your true or false. True or false? Despite Memorial Day being a federal holiday, 40% of companies in the U.S. still require at least some employees to work on Memorial Day. Is that true or is that false?
True.
True? 40% of companies still require some work. You locking it in?
Yep.
You got it, John. Yeah. Almost not that shocking of a number to hear. I remember when I started working and I in radio, this is 15 years ago almost, and I'd be mad about getting, having to work these holidays. But I don't know, either the world has changed or I've just gotten older to realize that, man, there's a lot of people that work holidays. It's a pretty common thing. So some of the stats that I have are that 97% of employers have designated Memorial Day as a paid day off, but there is still that 40% of companies that require at least some employees to show up because there's certain, radio is a perfect example. The radio is still on the air, so somebody needs to go in and do it. I think about fast food places, major chains, things like that.
Tech companies.
You're a good example of it yourself. Yeah, there's always tech work that needs to be done. Memorial Day is one of 6 paid off days for nearly all of U.S. workers, which that goes along with Christmas, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, and 4th of July. The good news is that research shows that 85% of companies that do have employees work on Memorial Day offer some kind of extra benefit. 85%. So there is 15% that still needs to get their S together, but 85% will offer either time and a half or double time or extra pay with some kind of, they'll offer something, and that's nice. And that's something that is new to me. In fact, I do work on Memorial Day and I do get time and a half, and I can't wait. But that wasn't always the case for me. For a long time, working holidays was just the regular old pay, and I'm very grateful to be where I am now. So there you go. There's some labor stuff for you about Memorial Day.
So, we just talked about how it was originally called Decoration Day.
Yes.
And obviously it is now called Memorial Day.
Yes.
When did it become the official name?
Ooh, yes.
1868.
Okay.
1913. 1948. Or 1968.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't outright say this. You may have given me a clue by talking about how after World War, now I can't even remember if you said 1 or 2 or just the World Wars, but that after that is when they sort of started celebrating it for more than just a Civil War. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's when they started calling it Memorial Day. That would be my deductive reasoning, though. And then this would also show my ignorance with history of trying to figure out dates of things. 1913 seems much more in the World War I era. 1948 seems more in the World War II era for me. I'm going to choose 1948 just based on that. I'm going to say that would have been after World War II, and that's when they decided to call it Memorial Day. 1948. Dang it.
Funny enough, this is actually something that we've talked about in the past.
I'm sure it is.
I think it was with Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
There was the federal act that basically made the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, where it moved a bunch of holidays to Mondays.
Yes.
And so when that was passed in Congress in 1968, that changed the name officially to be Memorial Day.
Wow.
And made it be the last Monday of May instead of being May 30th.
Interesting. Now, do you know, were people like already kind of calling it Memorial Day just casually, or was this like
I think so.
Yeah, it wasn't like a big, like, we're just going to rename it because we can.
It was even called Memorial Day back in the 1880s.
Okay, got it.
But Decoration Day is kind of what really did it until the 1960s, when Memorial Day became the official name. And that Grand Army of the Republic, that we talked about a little bit ago, they didn't like the fact that it was being set to be a Monday, so it was a 30-day weekend. They thought that making it be more convenient as a 3-day weekend instead of it being a specific day.
Took away from the significance.
Right.
Which is that's what you were alluding to at the beginning of the episode, is that this is since the beginning of Memorial Day, literally, people have not been necessarily thrilled about it.
Right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. Yeah, and it's super touchy, and I guess we might get more into it, but it's, again, I sort of go back to, you're allowed to make what you want out of a holiday. I would like to think that people who celebrate Memorial Day aren't, whether they're extreme about their support of the military or not, they're not doing it to be blatantly disrespectful to those who've lost their lives. And it's much the same. I mean, maybe this is comparing apples to oranges, but it's the same way that a lot of people who aren't that crazy about Jesus still celebrate Christmas. It's them doing, if somebody who is just sort of Christian but doesn't really practice any religion is opening presents on Christmas, I'm not going to be like, you're really disrespecting the holiday here. But again, this is a very touchy subject, so I need to be cautious about what I say, because I get it. It's different talking about something that's a historical context versus actual, right. A lot of people have been through a lot by the loss of loved ones. And so I can understand why there would be a lot of sort of like, you're being disrespectful by eating a bunch of hot dogs and going down a slip and slide. But I've kind of been back and forth on this, but okay, we're going to talk more about it soon, though, it sounds like, in some form.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Well, you just took the lead with that question, because I'm 1 for 3 and you're 2 for 3. And here's number 4 for you on Memorial Day fun. This is according to AAA booking data. This is as of this year, too, so this is like current data. According to AAA booking data, what is the most popular travel destination for Memorial Day weekend? Again, that's for this year, 2022. Is it Orlando, Florida, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Nevada, or Muncie, Indiana?
I mean, we all know it's not Muncie.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have you been to Muncie?
Yeah. I was there today.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to go with Orlando.
Orlando? What you thinking?
It tends to be the end of the school year, and so families are starting to go on vacation. Orlando happens to be home of Universal Studios, Disney World. There's, all the beaches and stuff for, within driving distance. So I'm going with Orlando.
All right, John, your logic was very correct on that. Well done. Way to think that through. Yeah, Orlando number 1, mostly as a result of all the Disneyland resort stuff and the Universal Studios and the beaches and the warm weather. And you sort of brought up an interesting point that a lot of families are going there, which I think makes it more significant. There was one site that I saw that sort of gave Orlando's the most for families, but I think it was like Cancun, and though anyways, there's places where single people go for Memorial Day. But yeah, Orlando was number 1, the top 5 list. Number 5 was Anaheim, California. So you can figure that one out because that's where Disneyland is. Number 4, Las Vegas, Nevada, because that's always a popular travel destination. Number 3 was Miami for the beaches, the warm climate, the nightclubs, etc. Number 2 is what surprised me most, Seattle, Washington. This year, the second most popular travel destination for Memorial Day. And, Seattle's got tons of lovely things to do. So it's no knock on Seattle. It's just you don't think of that as this popular like vacation destination. But maybe it has to do with spring coming around in Seattle. There's a small window of time when the Pacific Northwest is the most beautiful place to be, and we're entering it right now in terms of weather. And then the rest of the year it's just rain and you're drowning all the time. And then Orlando, it was number 1 because of what we mentioned earlier. So there you go, John. You're crushing it on this. 3 for 4, I think that just made you. Good job.
Yeah. So which town has been holding a Memorial Day parade the longest?
Oh.
Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Grafton, West Virginia, or Rochester, Wisconsin.
Wow, those are some pretty random choices. Doylestown, PA, Indianapolis, Indiana, Grafton, West Virginia, Rochester, Wisconsin, which I didn't even know that. Actually, I didn't know there was a Doylestown, a Grafton, or a Rochester, Wisconsin. I know Rochester, New York, and I have heard of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm familiar with that city. I'm tempted to ask a clarification question, but I kind of don't.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, meaning as of the time that it was actually called Memorial Day, or does this date back to Decoration Day as well?
This dates back to Decoration Day.
Okay, so they may have been interchangeably calling it Memorial Day.
Right.
The reason I ask that is because it makes Doylestown, PA stand out to me just because I think about the Civil War and Pennsylvania being, one of the bigger battlegrounds for that. But obviously, all of these states, Indiana, West Virginia, and Wisconsin, as far as I know, or I don't know, maybe I think Wisconsin was a state in the Civil War, but all of these regions were affected by the Civil War. So you could make the same argument for any of them.
Yeah, I mean, Indianapolis even had, the circle, the monument that's in the middle that is a monument to the Civil War soldiers and everything.
That's interesting. Yeah, if you've never been to Indianapolis, there's a traffic circle essentially, right? It's cars drive around it. That's kind of one of the centers of the city.
Yeah, but I mean, it gets shut off a bunch to where you don't even drive on.
So it's more of a landmark now. But yeah, it's a circle, and in the middle of it is this thing, this statue. Wow. I mean, yeah, that does make me want to second guess.
Yeah, I mean, just to help you with dates, Indiana became a state in 1816, I believe.
Oh, cool.
So
this is the second thing you've told me about Indianapolis in this question, John. Are you trying to point me in the right direction?
No. I mean, I've also got a friend that actually is from Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I want to meet this Doylestown friend. Doylestown, PA. What's the what's the city that it's nearest to? Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, none of the above? Do you know?
I want to say Philadelphia, but I'm not positive.
Are they Pirates fans or are they Phillies fans? I guess that's the real important question. I'm googling it right now. Maybe we need to go do a live show from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, where they have a Mercer Museum. You got a Presbyterian church. Let me zoom out of here. Looks like they're just north of Philadelphia.
They're a borough.
Yeah, they're like directly north of Philadelphia. I think it would be at this point for me to talk this much about Doylestown and not choose it would just be a disgrace. So I am choosing Doylestown, Pennsylvania as my final answer. Oh man, I'm not winning this episode.
Well, I mean, so if you listen to people from Doylestown, they'll say they have the longest.
Oh, they claim to.
They claim it. Same with people from Grafton, West Virginia.
Oh.
However, they both have parades going back to 1868.
Okay.
Rochester, Wisconsin has it going back to 1867.
Wow. Wisconsin beating them out by a year.
Yep.
Wow. All right, John. So all three of those, Doylestown, Grafton, and Rochester, all with a lot of history, Memorial Day parades, and good on them for doing it. All right. Well, do I have one right? I think I'm 1 for 4 right now.
Yeah, you got the first one.
No, I missed the first one. I guess 30.
Did you miss the first?
I got the second.
Oh, you got the second one.
I got the true or false. I missed the 35 years. It was 25 years. But regardless, you're going to win this episode. Let's see if you can make it a 4 for 5 show. And you're 3 for 4 right now. And here's the last question about Memorial Day. We know that Memorial Day savings are crazy, right? And you listen to the radio and watch TV, there's always sales on Memorial Day. In terms of these Memorial Day sales specifically, which item really does offer the lowest prices of the year during Memorial Day? Does that make sense? Does that question make sense? So which of these items really, Memorial Day is the best time to buy this item? Is it mattresses, electronics, bathing suits, or summer clothing?
I was going to say mattresses at first, but then I think I started talking myself into electronics.
Oh, I would have loved to hear those thoughts in your brain.
Well, so part of it is with electronics is schools will tend to buy new computers and stuff for the next school year at the end of the previous school year.
And mattresses is what came to mind first, though?
Yeah, just because it doesn't make sense for bathing suits and summer clothing to go on sale like at the beginning of summer. That would be like at the end of summer type deal.
Good logic.
So I'm just going to stick with mattresses because I have no idea when they go on sale.
So
it seems like every holiday they go on sale. I don't know.
So you narrowed it down to mattresses and electronics. You thought about electronics, and then you're gonna go with that original gut feeling of mattresses.
Yep.
John, mattresses are correct. You're gonna have yourselves a good night's sleep. Yeah, I feel like you're right. Mattresses feel like they go on sale every year. I feel like we always hear about low APRs on cars and things like that, but mattresses is legit. It's not unusual to see 50% off deals. There's some where they do get a king for the price of a queen deal. Mattresses, this is their time to shine. Now, these other three were actually listed as so electronics, bathing suits, and summer clothing as actually three of the worst things to get deals on Memorial Day. That's not to say you're not going to get a deal on them on Memorial Day, but there are just other times of year where you're going to get a better deal. For example, electronics. For Memorial Day, you're usually lucky to get about 10% off of electronics, but on Black Friday, you're getting like 50 to 70% off. So if you really want a big electronic, just wait till Black Friday. Bathing suits, you're exactly right. In fact, they don't start doing their sales till July or August because they probably figure most people have bought their bathing suits now, so let's lower the prices. And summer clothes, back to school in August or September, that's actually when you're going to get the best deal on summer clothes, which I don't know. I guess you wouldn't want to buy summer clothes for kids in September because then they're going to outgrow them by the time summer rolls around in May. But man, great job, John. 4 for 5. You whooped it. I got pride on the line. See if I can at least get 2 questions right on the history quiz.
So, what event is held on the Sunday before Memorial Day pretty much since the beginning in 1911? The Brickyard 400, the Indy 500, the MLB All-Star Game, or the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, man. I feel like I should know this. Now, there's probably one that you're not surprised that I can eliminate pretty quickly. The MLB All-Star Game I know is in July, and I'm very excited about this year's MLB All-Star Game because it's being hosted at Dodger Stadium, and I'm hoping it's the first time it's been there in like 30 or 40 years. I'm hoping I can go to the game or the home run derby. So I know it's not that one, but I honestly have no idea between Brickyard 400, Indy 500, and Kentucky Derby. Gosh, the Kentucky Derby, that's what threw me off. To be honest, between Brickyard 400 and Indy 500, I was all set just to choose Indy 500 just because I don't know for sure, but I was all set to choose it. And then the Kentucky Derby, I know they wear the big floppy hats, and I know it's like a springtime thing. It's like spring into summer kind of thing. So it could be Kentucky Derby, but I'm going to choose Indy 500, John. I'm going to choose Indy 500. Oh, thank goodness I got 2 right. 2 out of 5, baby.
Yep. It's the Indy 500. The Kentucky Derby is actually held in the first Saturday in May. So the Kentucky Derby has already happened this year.
Oh my gosh, did it just happen? Oh, the first Saturday of May. Okay, so that's probably why. Yep. Yes, that's probably why it kind of came
2 weeks
to my
ago.
mind. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't choose it.
I mean, and the Brickyard 400, it is held in the same location as the Indy 500.
That's what I thought, because that's the one that you went on a bike when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that's so tight.
Yeah, the Brickyard 400 is normally in July.
Okay.
But yeah, so stemming all the way back to 1911 when the first Indy 500 race was held on Decoration Day weekend. It was the Indy 500. It is coming up a week from today of recording. So we have officially entered race week here in Indiana.
Oh, it's a big deal.
So it is. So pretty much you just want to avoid Indianapolis at this time of year.
Don't go to the circle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even the circle, like just Indy in general, because you've got, all the teams, show up, and a good amount of the teams are actually based out of Indy anyways.
Okay.
This year could be a big year if Helio Castroneves wins, because then he will be the first racer to win 5 times.
Whoa.
Right now, there are only 4 people that have won 4 times. He won last year for his 4th.
Wow.
So this year is kind of a big deal if he can win or not. But yeah, I mean, it's been happening since 1911.
Wow.
So.
Well, there's been fanfare around Memorial Day even before it became Memorial Day. If they put,
exactly.
So it's
Well, and so we talked about the Grand Army of Republic earlier, and they were complaining more and more about that younger generation, how they weren't respecting it for what it was, and people were having barbecues and stuff like that, and then the Indy 500 started happening, and like in 1913, one Indiana veteran complained that younger people born since the war had a tendency to forget the purpose of Memorial Day and make it a day for games, races, and revelry instead of a day of memory and tears.
You gosh dang kids, get off my lawn.
Exactly. It went so far that the state legislature in 1923 actually rejected holding the race on the holiday.
Wow.
Because it used to be on Decoration Day or Memorial Day, but it's then since been moved to the Sunday before. But the American Legion wanted the race to continue because it was a big thing, and it drew a lot of people in. And so the governor actually vetoed that bill that the legislature passed. And so it continued to be on Memorial Day weekend.
How about that? Wow. Yeah, it's such a touchy subject. Like you can't blame the guy that's yelling at the kids. It's
right.
Obviously something he's very passionate about, emotional about. He has strong ties to it. But at the same time, it's sort of like it doesn't mean that they're disrespecting anybody by doing that.
Right.
And I also am sort of the thought of you can honor the people that you value your way, and other people can do it. It doesn't mean that they're not, just because they're having fun doesn't mean that they're not taking time to memorialize.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are going to have all kinds of different opinions on this. I'll just say that I respect where anybody falls on this. You know, I think that memorializing those that we have lost is so important, and something that I'm, you know, again, for someone who's not very patriotic, I'm very glad that I had in my upbringing the chance to put these flags on graves and kind of, you know, have that respect built into me. But I'm also, you know, I show up and I eat steak and burgers every Memorial Day, and I will admit that I have lost track of the true meaning of Memorial Day on many a Memorial Day.
Right.
You know, it's like it is very easy to the, you know, this man who yells at kids credit. It is very easy to lose sight because of the fanfare. So I understand where he's coming from, but I hope at the very least that just the conversation that we're having can, you know, remind us to all if we so choose to reflect and remember those who were lost. But also, you know, if you want to eat 9 hot dogs, go for it. I support that.
Yeah.
All I know, John, is that you did a masterful job today, 4 out of 5 performance, and for that I'm very proud of you. And as this episode is wrapping up, don't forget to head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/lackofgenius, and let your voice be heard. We would love to get your feedback on how we're doing or how we're not doing.
Yep.
John, always a pleasure, man. We'll talk to you later.
Likewise.
Okay, see you.
See you next time.
Bye.
It's the Lack of Genius podcast in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast.
Anything that is wiener shaped and put in a bun.